Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a Shundo Moltres in the Galarian form in the Open Master League. And we're going to have here a triple shiny team already, with the shiny Yveltal as well as the shiny Dialga as well towards it. But of course, a Shundo Galarian Moltres is something special, is something that most likely a lot of people don't have. I actually caught a shiny variant of the Galarian Moltres. I traded to my girlfriend, but at least I was able to still make this nice thumbnail that you're going to see there already, because I still have the Pokemon actually, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this Pokemon is insanely rare. Like, getting one of those Galarian birds as a shiny is very, very difficult. Actually, I saw people having all three already, which is kind of mad. But it's, generally speaking, one of the most difficult Pokemon to get currently. And yeah, as a Shundo itself, that's kind of rare and kind of ridiculous. But yeah, today we're going to see on how this is going to be. We're going to have two different teams that are actually coming up. The first one is going to be Dialga, the Moltres in back as a closer, as well as the Yveltal as a safe swap. And we're also seeing Payback on the Moltres, which I found quite an interesting choice. I would have went for a Brave Bird, just because you're going to be able to hit Pokemon like Palkia a little bit easier. But I mean, actually, Payback also hits them for... Okay, no, don't mind what I just said. Payback also hits for neutral, but here we'll see that you can still survive a hit, and Palkia is coming in. What a timing for this, by the way, and this is going to be enough to knock it out, and we can move on to the next opponent. So, I haven't seen a single battle of this one. I had to start a little bit though the battles because of the teams, which is always a little bit awkward if like there are multiple teams for me at least, because yeah, the editing software as well as if you download it, it's just mixing up everything. But as you will see here, we're going to have a Primarina, which is very awkward for the backline, but okay for the lead. And we're going to see the Necrozma coming in. I feel like for this team, it would have been better, by the way, just as like, I don't know, bit of feedback, to have a better answer to Fairy-type Pokemon in the lead. I actually could see a team of Nihilego with the Moltres as a safe swap and the Yveltal in the back performing well, with Moltres having Brave Bird. Because Nihilego are going to be weak against like those Pokemon that are... yeah, especially ground-type Pokemon, steel-type Pokemon, things like this. But you're going to be very good against like Pokemon that are weak to the rock typing. And with Moltres, you actually have a Pokemon as a safe swap that has the rock typing as coverage move, which can help out quite a bit. Of course, here, for example, Payback is going to be a very smart choice, as Pokemon like Dialga don't really like this move. So I guess maybe Payback did make a lot more sense than I expected. But like, this is the cool thing here. We learned something from other players, which is always something that I like to see as well. And as we'll see here, Dialga is going to be able to go for another charge move, and we're going to keep the shield for the Moltres, which can now go for the full farm down against the opponent's Dialga without them getting to another charge move. And this is game over. Goodbye, Palkia. Palkia? Primarina. Anyway, Xerneas in the lead is going to be basically the worst possible Pokemon. Congratulations here. You wait until the opponent goes for a charge move. That is smart. You can survive a close combat. You can survive a Moonblast. They go for the Moonblast. Smart from the opponent as well, as you're not going to be forced to go for an Iron Head, and they're very likely going to let the move go through if they decide to go for a Moonblast first. Exactly, because they know that they survive it. They know that they can still go for another move here. And you might want to swap out afterwards, which I could see them trying to catch the move here. Exactly, it still didn't work out, and they should have been able to go for a Moonblast. But good for you, and good for the Yveltal, going to be able to go for an Oblivion Wing here, which is going to allow you to do a ton of damage against the opponent. They very likely have to go for a Spatial Rent here, which is... I don't know if I have it correctly written on the right side, by the way. I was a bit confused about... Oh, wait. Spoiler alert. This is actually for the next team. But yeah, we're going to see here the Moltres coming back in. Yveltal. And this is the thing as well. You have access to Ancient Power. I really hope that we see a boost here. A boost would be delicious. It would be kind of needed as well. And we will see not a boost, sadly, but you're still going to be able to just go for another Ancient Power before the opponent even gets to a move. And what you could do is you could actually swap out, because the opponent is close to the 100 energy, and you're going to try to catch the move. It does not work out, but you know what you can do? You can go for an Iron Head, and this is going to be amazing, because all of a sudden the opponent is going to be in a very difficult spot. They have 100 energy, but in theory you should be able to get there in time. As long as you can take an Oblivion Wing, which you can, you actually have some solid bulk on this Pokemon. They try to catch the move, it does not work out, but they still survive with a 1 HP, unfortunate. Maybe if you had better IVs on your Shundo, of course, jokingly. But yeah, anyway, we want to see here now the Ho-Oh. Actually, the ideal play here, by the way, for you is to go for Thunder. Why is Thunder the ideal play here? Like, not only here, of course, but before they actually go for their own charge move. Here's the thing, if you would go for Thunder straight away, the opponent very likely is going to decide to no shield and they go down straight away. Why is that the case? Because for the Dialga origin form, it is way more common to have a Roar of Time, which generally speaking the better move. So if you have Thunder, it is actually going to be quite an interesting thing for you because you're going to be able to get there a little bit earlier than for the Roar of Time. This little bit earlier is actually perfectly before the opponent would get to a Sacred Fire, which means a lot of people just think, oh, they're just bad at baiting and just went for the Iron Head just before they even would get to the Roar of Time because they know that they're going to outspeed you to the Sacred Fire before you can go for the Roar of Time. And so I feel like the best play that you can do with the Dialga would be just to go straight for Thunder immediately as soon as you get it, because I think most players very likely are just going to decide to no shield that move. We see basically the best possible Pokemon for you in the back, but it's still going to be a bit awkward because they have a ton of energy now. Iron Head is still going to connect here, and this is only a few Sucker Punches away from getting KO'd. You're not going to get the fast move through, which is really unfortunate. It might actually cost you the game as Moongaze Beam is going to get launched. Can you still win this one? You can luckily still win this one, but oh wait, you cannot because the opponent has a 1 HP Dialga. That was a close one, but again, it would have been cool to get the free fast move through Niantic. Would have been lovely. Anyway, if the opponent would have had the leg there, you would have won the battle then as well, but we are not living in a world where things are fair and equal. Anyway, we're going to have here the Xerneas against us. What you could actually do here, which would be an interesting play, is to go for an Iron Head, let them go for the charge move. Yeah, actually, if I wanted to catch the charge move would have been a little bit better. But yeah, close comment coming through, and you decide to swap out. Yeah, I feel like this is an interesting play and a great play, because yes, you have to go use another shield here, and you're going to be 2 shields down at this point. But at the end of the day, you're still going to be able to realign yourself, and you're going to get rid of the Xerneas while still doing a lot of damage against whatever wants to come back in here, and it's going to be the Palkia. Oblivion Wing is going to connect here, going to do a ton of damage. Of course, they're going to let the move go through, because they know that the matchup against the Dialga is going to be so much worse for them. They're very likely going to use a shield here with all the energy they have stored up, because they're going to have to go for another charge move here, and if it's an awkward here, it is not going to be enough to knock you out. So Spatial Rent is coming through, and we will see the Necrozma against the Moltres matchup. We saw already beforehand that you were able to survive the opponent's hit there. And so this is what you kind of have to rely on. Sunsteel Strike is still not enough, and they still have to go for another charge move. And until they get to a Dark Port, it's going to be quite a bit of time. And so you're going to go for the Ancient Power, not getting a boost here. I think it would have been better to go for the Ancient Power here as well, but Iron Head is coming through, so they are running double steel charge moves. That's kind of rare, but great for the Dialga and great for you because you won just this battle. And so we're going to move on to the next battle. We're going to still be in the team number 1 here, where we're going to have the Palkia, we're going to have the Meloetta, a Pokemon that really doesn't want to face the, what's called Yveltal here. Issue is, Thunderbolt is a thing, and so you're going to use a shield against the Psyshock. That's is unfortunate, but like I do understand why they use the shield, because again, Thunderbolt would do quite some solid damage, and they're very likely gonna use a shield here, or even Dazzling Gleam. Like no matter what coverage move you have on this Pokemon, it's always going to be super effective. In this case, it's Dazzling Gleam. And you can go for the full farm down, which allows you to set you up perfectly, because now the Palkia is gonna go down into Oblivion Wings very likely, plus of course the Sucker Punch damage. And so it's looking really good for you, and we will see the Oblivion Ring is going to now connect against the opponent. This is going to be the shield coming up from the opponent as well. We're gonna see here the full farm down of Palkia, which is kind of unfortunate. The Alga's coming in. It is going to be the Spatial Rent, and in comes the Rhyperior, and that looks really bad because you have to see here that the opponent goes for a Rock Wrecker. They're gonna one-shot you. There's no way. Don't one-shot you? Why is Moltres so bulky? I did not expect the bulk of this Pokemon. Payback is going to connect. They still go for a charge move, which I didn't have to do. They could have farmed you down, which would have been better for them. But this is going to be better for you, because now you can go for the full farm down with your Dialga. You have some energy, they swap out, you win the battle. That is going to be it. This is going to be a KO, and we can move on to the next opponent. And this is going to be the final battle of this team. So, we're going to have here the Palkia against the Dialga matchup. Again, a very solid matchup for yourself. Best play is most likely to just, go for the shield here, farm them down, win the lead matchup, get a ton of energy. And Amoros comes in. A Pokemon that your backline doesn't want to face. But to be fair, you're in a solid position here, because what you can do is you can just go for more Iron Heads, and you don't really have to worry about anything here. Oh, it's a fly. Is it a grass knot? It's a fly, of course, because grass knot is double resisted and non-step, while a fly is single resisted in step. So Ironhead is going to now get the shield. We see the swap out, which I do agree with, because now you can still take the hit, actually. You don't even have to use a shield here. Fly is not going to knock you out, but you need an Oblivion Wing in order to get the KO against the opponent. Now you have to use a shield, because you're not going to waste the energy. Have to be a bit mindful, because they might swap out into the Palkia here. They swap out into the Ho-Oh. That is going to be significantly worse. But you know what's kind of great? Ancient Power still exists, and this is going to be very important, but luckily, Oblivion Ring comes through. He could have went for one more fast move as far as I can see that there as well. Would have actually allowed you to knock them out instead, but now you can just sacrifice your Dialga, I guess, and hope for the best. Dialga gonna get sacrificed. I think he's still in a solid spot, because you're gonna get the one fast move here now, and the one fast move is going to allow you to go for the Ancient Power before the Palkia gets to a move, and Amora still gets to a move in time, for sure. And so it might be even a little bit smarter for you to overfarm by a bit here, because it's very likely that the opponent gonna swap out here very soon. What did I say? You have to, I think you have to completely charge them, don't you? Like, what is the Palkia's health? That's what I mean. You needed to charge that move, because now you're gonna lose this battle, because I still get to another move. I know, like, this was definitely a bit of a misplay. It would have been definitely a winnable battle, but we can move on to the next team, which is going to be an interesting one. We're going to have the Palkia, we're going to have the Necrozma in the lead, and we're going to have the Moltres in the back, which does make a lot of sense, because why? We have a lead that's going to be great against Fairy-type Pokemon, we have a Seisorb that's going to be not so great against Fairy-type Pokemon, and we're going to have in the back, of course, a Pokemon that really doesn't want to face Fairy-type Pokemon as well with the Moltres. And so, this team, I do think it's a great team. I do think it makes more sense maybe to have something like the Necrozma there in the lead, which is going to help you out a bit more against those pesky flying-type, Fairy-type Pokemon that you cannot really deal with your Dark-type boys. But anyway, we're gonna have here the Hydro Cannon connecting against you. You still got the opponent can alone. You can still go for the full farm down, but not before the opponent reaches another charge move. The Hydro Cannon is going to chunk away your health, as we will see the Ho-Oh, and as we also see here, we're going to have access to the move Ancient Power, and that is going to be very, very important. And as we will see as well, we're gonna have the Palkia in the back, which is not really ideal for you. But what would be ideal is if you could swap out eventually, or you can get a ton of energy here. You need definitely some bit of energy at least, and you see the shield of course coming up straight away. It's going to be an Awkward Tail, and while you look like a normal Moltres, yeah, that would have been not super effective. It's just going to be neutral, but you're still going to have to go for an Ancient Power here, which is going to get the KO. No boost today, which is kind of unfortunate. Can you get the shield here with the move from your Necrozma? You should mostly not get them. Oh, you get the shield. You're still gonna lose. Yeah, sadly, just a little bit too far away from the move, but we can see what the next battle is going to bring for you. Rhyperior, this Pokemon is going to be, this Pokemon is going to be, yeah, okay for you. You're gonna have at least some, yeah, it's actually really bad to be fair, like, not really a great matchup for you at all. Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one. We see Adization coming in, we're gonna have another Awkward Tail. Awkward Tail after Awkward Tail after Awkward Tail, we're gonna have another Awkward Tail coming through, and hopefully another Awkward Tail straight afterwards. Yes, that's actually going to be super important, because now you're gonna get the shield from the opponent. They are at 100 energy here. Why? That was weird. If you found this weird, then feel free to leave a like on the video, of course, and subscribe if you haven't already. But anyway, we're gonna see here the Rhyperior coming in, a Pokemon that definitely doesn't appreciate the Awkward Tail from yourself, as we will see the Awkward Tail connecting against it, getting the shield, and they're definitely gonna try to spam you with some Breaking Swipes. And I was honestly kind of mad that they go for the Rock Wrecker. Okay. Rock Wrecker, generally speaking, does a bit more damage. But still, I don't know, maybe that's the way to go. I have no idea. You're going to be able to realign yourself, and the Palkia is coming back in. And you sadly don't have the Outrage on your Necrozma. Okay, that's perfect for you. Thanks for that, Voland. You did not have to do that, but yeah, thanks so much. We're going to see the payback coming through soon. As we, by the way, know already at this point, essentially Strike is not going to be enough to knock you out. And so we will see here the next payback coming in. And this is going to be definitely, yeah, an interesting one. We're going to have here the full farm down nearly happening as well. But it's going to be actually better for you, because you get some energy here as well with your Necrozma. And it's down to Palkia against Necrozma. We have the Dark Bolts coming through, connecting here as well. And so we will try to go for the full farmland, but the opponent decides to forfeit anyway. So let's see what the next battle is gonna bring here. You kind of have to stay in this one. LilyKatchum definitely also poses something there that's kind of nice. Honestly, LilyKatchum is something that I use as well. I use Galix for graphics and LilyKatchum just to have an overview of the events, because holy moly, like the events already got announced for the for the next season. Of course, for the last season they were announced already, but for the next season, it's basically an event every weekend. Like, I think there is actually an event every weekend other than the last one, where we're most likely gonna still get something afterwards. So, yeah, like, this is kinda madness and kinda crazy. But yeah, definitely gonna be interesting for the next community days there. But yeah, March Community Day already got announced anyway, with Coco made a video about it recently as well. Definitely a community day that you want to play, for sure you want to play that community day. Because you have extra starters, you have a new Pokemon, you have quite a lot of fun there. And yeah, we're going to have the Awkward Tail coming through against the Palkia. You're going to be able to go ahead and go into your own, what's it called, Moltres. Moltres has to not really use a shield here, to be fair. Like, they can use a shield if they really want to, but yeah, you're going to use a shield. Okay, you're going to go for another Awkward Tail here as well. The opponent, you're going to use another shield there as well. And we have the Landorus in the back, which is going to be a Pokemon that has super effective coverage against you with the move of Stone Edge. And this is going to be a bit of a tricky one, as Payback is going to connect here, doing some solid damage, and you try to catch the move, you can catch the move. And this is going to be a good game trainer, because even a Stone Edge actually would have not knocked you out. And so it's going to be a very good game, and we can move on to the final battle of the day. So I am really appreciating, by the way, that you sent in those battles. I really appreciate everyone who sends the battles. I know I cannot always showcase every battle. For example, I actually have a lot of interesting Love Cup battles that got sent to me as well. But to be fair, like, Love Cup is so dead right now that I don't actually have the motivation to really look at it. I rather look at Master League currently, and I rather do some more alternative videos, which I'm gonna do. And yeah, you will see on the channel in the next few days as well. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned for this one, but I don't really think I'm gonna take a look at Love Cup anymore. I think Love Cup is kinda dead. So, we're gonna have the Awkward Tail coming through here. We're gonna have another Awkward Tail coming through afterwards. Hopefully get a shield, because you have the better answer in the back anyway. Gonna get no shield here. You're gonna have still the Moltres, going to be able to fully resist every single hit the opponent could go for, other than Iron Head. That is hilarious. Like, honestly, I didn't even know that this Pokemon would learn anything that wouldn't be, yeah, resisted, but good job there, me. I didn't know that Iron Hand was a thing. Oh, you get the boost! You get the boost! That could be actually crucial for you. You're definitely gonna survive this next move now anyway, and you can go still for another Ancient Power. And I feel like this is going to be very, very nice for you, because as we will see here, the opponent decides to, I guess, just forfeit at this point. Let the move go through. That's going to be it for the showcase. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.